So, I asked first of all, for those of you that don't know me, most of you do, but if you're watching the replay or anything like that, my name is Rachel from Find Your Worth Fitness. I feel like someone knocked on my door. I'm Rachel from Find Your Worth Fitness. So, I asked the other night on my Facebook about PCOS, who has PCOS on my Facebook. And I had a lot of responses. I had people message me and inbox me and that kind of thing. So thanks for reaching out and thank you for sharing, whether you have it or not. So I have been finding that women don't like to talk about it. People don't like to talk about it in general. And so I wanted to do a series, like an informative series on PCOS and what it is and misconceptions about it and symptoms about it and pregnancy with PCOS and treating it and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do a series about it. So tonight I just wanted to talk about what it is and my journey, like how I found out that I had it. So we can get the word out there about it and how to treat it and that kind of thing. And I also am interested, or I'm thinking about, if you guys are interested in having like a PCOS support group. I think that women need to have support when you're, come together, share our battles and triumphs dealing with PCOS. So, first of all, before I start tonight, I am giving a warning. I see a bunch of people hopping on, but I want to give a warning for guys. We're going to be talking about periods. We're going to be talking about infertility. And so if you don't want to watch, close your ears, hop off, don't watch. But you may know a woman that is dealing with PCOS or struggling with it. So you might want to listen. That's fine. I'm comfortable with that. My goal is to get the word out there so that more people know about it and so that we have support. So, for those of you that don't know, you're like, what is PCOS? What is she talking about? PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it is a hormonal imbalance, and 1 in 10 childbearing age women have it. So, I have, let's just say, 2,000 friends on my Facebook, almost. That means that if I'm doing my math right, which now I'm thinking maybe I'm wrong, that means that 200 women on my Facebook potentially have PCOS. And a lot of people don't know that they have it. So I wanted, that's a big deal. So it is a hormonal imbalance. Basically what happens is when and here comes the period talk. So again, if you're a guy and you don't want to hear it, hop off. But you probably know a woman who is dealing with it. So when you have your period, your body releases sacs, and they have your mature eggs in them. Well, when you have PCOS, your body releases that sac, and the egg doesn't pop open with the egg to come out. So those sacs become cysts on your ovaries. So it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. You can have PCOS and not have cysts on your ovaries. So there's been talk about renaming it. But 1 in 10, like I said before, 1 in 10 women have this. And it is the most common form of infertility. It is, I know I have friends on my Facebook. I think I saw a couple people that hopped on that I have met in support groups. I think, Lauren, you have it, right? And you're dealing with infertility. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. It affects all ethnicities. It's not something that, anyone it cannot get. You're more likely to have it if you have an aunt or mom or a sister who has it, or an overweight. If you're overweight, you're more likely to have it. I'm going to just kind of share my story tonight, and you guys can rewatch the beginning about what it is if you missed that. But I'm also going to be doing more videos. I'm going to do videos with misconceptions about it and symptoms and other health issues you can get, pregnancy and PCOS and infertility, that kind of thing. So I have some great I have been doing my research, and I want to share this with you guys, for those of you that have it, so that you can have support and know that you're not alone, and for those of you that want to know more about it, or maybe are curious to see if you have it. Yeah, Melinda, it's a lot of people have it. Did they check you for PCOS then? So, while you're answering, my story, I'm going to go do, my next live is going to be in a couple days on the symptoms so that it's not a huge video with a ton of information thrown at you. But my story, when I'm 30 now, so 10 years ago, when I was 20, I quit having periods. I would go months without having them. I was 20 years old. At the time, I was probably 135 pounds, so I wasn't that overweight. I'm 5 foot, so it is a little heavier. But I was about 135, 140. So I just quit having periods, and I didn't know why. You never heard about PCOS at that time. It wasn't something that was common. So I went to my doctor after, and at the time I was 20. I've wanted to be a mom since I was like 2. So every time that I would not have it, I would think, maybe I'm pregnant. And I never was. I would take tests and I would just have that, like you take the test and you are just, for those of you that know that this has happened, you're heartbroken. And so I went to the doctor, and they literally did the same dollar store test that I did and said, well, you're not pregnant. Okay, I know that, but why? Why am I not having my periods? Like, why is this going on? So they sent me to a gynecologist, and he was about 75. I mean, I think he walked in with a cane. He had retired being an OB, and he was a gynecologist, and they referred me to him. And he did a pap smear, and he says, I think it's just stress. And I said, I'm 20, I'm in college, but I love going to school, I love being a student, I live at home with my dad, what am I stressed about? Like, I don't have anything to be stressed about. So they said, we're going to give you a hormone shot, and it just came up for my battery, so I don't know if you missed that. But they said, we're going to give you a hormone shot, we're going to bump start your period, and then you'll be fine. Okay, no problem. So 2 months later, I found out that I was pregnant with Lily. And at the time, I never put any correlation or thought into the fact that they had given me a hormone shot and then I got pregnant. It was just like, oh, I'm pregnant, yay. So I got pregnant with Lily. And after I had her, I remember telling Matt probably once a week, something is not right. There is something wrong with me. And he'd be like, you're crazy. He literally would tell me I was crazy. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I don't know what it is, but something doesn't feel right. So, 5 days after Lily turned 1, I found out I was pregnant with Hunter. And as you know, after you have a baby, your hormones are crazy. And since I had a hormone imbalance, at the time I didn't know it, my hormones were really crazy. And I was able to get pregnant again with Hunter. It was a shock. It was a surprise, but I was super happy. Had Hunter. And then I was like, you know what? I'm comfortable with just 2. I'm comfortable not having any more. We have 2. We have a boy and a girl. We have my stepdaughter, Cheyenne. Like, we're okay. Matt doesn't want any more. I'm okay with that. So we never, this might be TMI for Facebook, but we never used any protection ever. And so, about a year after I had Hunter, I thought, I don't want to be done. I want more babies. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want another baby. I don't feel like our family is complete. And so Matt was not on board. But it happened for the next, from the time I had Hunter. Hunter was born in 2010, so almost 7 years ago, and next month. The same thing, the infrequent periods. I had all kinds of these symptoms that I'll go over next week, or next live. But I went over I had all these symptoms that I just didn't feel right. I knew something was wrong. So, I said to him a couple times, I think it's my hormones. Like, I think something's wrong with me. When you're 20 to 27, 25, when you're 20 to 25 years old, and other than the fact that you're a little overweight, and you're not having your periods, you feel like, what in the heck is wrong with me? What did I do? Like, what am I doing wrong? I didn't feel, this doesn't sound right. I'm sure it's not going to sound right, but I almost didn't feel like I was a good enough woman, because how are you going to be a woman if you're not even doing what, like, your body is not doing what it's supposed to? So, 2014, in the end of the summer, it was the end of the school year in 2014. I was talking to my friend Amy, and we talked about everything that day, but we started for some reason talking about us as women. And she had said, oh, I have PCOS. And I was like, oh, well, what's that? And she told me, and she was telling me she pulled it up on her phone of her signs and symptoms of PCOS. And I was like, oh, well, I have that. And I have that, and I have that, and oh, I have that too. So I was like, well, this is probably just me being paranoid. A lot of the signs and symptoms with PCOS also mimic signs and symptoms of hypothyroidism and other autoimmune disorders. They're all autoimmune disorders, so they kind of all mimic each other. So I thought, well, it's probably because every time I go to the doctor, you can see a larger neck. They always question me about hypothyroidism. So I went home that night, and I remember pulling it up on my phone and saying to Matt, let me read you this, and I want you to tell me what you think, like how many of these I have. And I read him the list, and he was like, you have all of them. And I'm like, well, I don't have moodiness, and I don't have depression. And he was like, you have all of them. So I made an appointment to see my doctor, who was actually the same doctor that she had seen that had diagnosed her. I went to my doctor, and I told him, everything that I had, and he also checked for hypothyroidism, which of course came back inconclusive, like it always does. But he went further. We did some ultrasounds on my thyroid, that kind of thing. But he confirmed that yes, I did have PCOS. So I, at that point, felt like it was like relief, but not relief. Like relief that I knew I wasn't crazy, that something was wrong with me, but like, well, now I have to deal with this the rest of my life. So, I've been, I've done research, and I've been dealing with it now for about 10 years, is the signs and symptoms of it, but I wanted to spread the word about what it is, and like I said, I'm going to do a few more videos over the next month or so, and just want to spread the word, let everybody know, like, it's normal. Don't be afraid to talk about it. If you think that you might possibly have it, talk to your doctor, and watch for my next one. My next one, I'm going to be doing the signs and symptoms of it. Yes, I am a big advocate for that. Like, don't give up. If you think something's wrong, if you're feeling like something's not right, go tell your doctor. Go tell your doctor. And if they don't listen, find another doctor, because chances are your intuition's probably right. So watch out for my next live. My next live is going to be on the signs and the symptoms of it, and I look forward to your feedback. If you have it and you want to share anything, or you think something's important that I should tell people about, message me or let me know. Comment below if you want. And if you don't have PCOS, but you're curious about it, or if you know someone who's struggling with it and you want to learn more about it, tell me what you want to know about so I can help you guys out more. Bye, guys.